Can you extend an old house without turning the project into a money pit? If anyone tells you yes,
they are lying.
Let us tell you a love story. We had a tiny house. We had a tiny plan. We had a tiny budget, €15,000. That was the dream. Then we said one sentence that destroyed our initial plan and our bank account. Let's extend it.
Because extending an old house isn't like building new. You're not just adding rooms, you're attaching a brand new body to a 70-year-old skeleton and hoping it doesn't freak out.
It's like surgery on a patient who keeps trying to crawl off the table. You fix one problem and the house immediately invents 3 more.
This renovation isn't just some weekend project for us. We're not renovating for fun, we're building our future. We left a stable life in Ireland, packed everything up and moved to Romania to do something completely insane. Turn this old house into a proper Airbnb guest house.
And when we say turn it into an Airbnb, we don't mean paint the walls and add a cute lamp. We're betting everything on it. This extension isn't just an extra space. The extension is us gambling with our savings and basically placing our future on a construction site. The first step was digging the foundations, which is the construction language for dig a massive hole and throw your savings into it. Thankfully, we brought reinforcements. Ladies and gentlemen, meet Mr. Kraus, our mini digger. He's small, he's feisty, and he wakes up every morning choosing violence. I'm not exaggerating. To get him to start, he needs to be bed up with a wrench. But putting his fetishes to the side, he was our best friend for this stage.
The extension didn't only mess with the outside, it also forced us to rethink the inside of the original house, because the old house and the new extension had to meet at the same level. The living room had this old clay floor, so we dug it out, dropped everything down to make the transition clean. Meanwhile, the other old room had a wooden floor that was actually in amazing condition, so we decided not to touch it, which means the old bedroom sits slightly higher with a step into it, like the old house is reminding you, I was here first.
When the trenches were finally ready, it was time for serious stuff. The concrete pour. We brought in the full cavalry, a cement truck with a pump, because this wasn't just a mix a few bags in a wheelbarrow situation. This was foundations for the extension. Following this, we started making the wooden skeleton of the extension out of thick wooden beams, 15 by 15 centimeters thick, and pillars of the same thickness at 2-meter intervals. This gave us a bare skeleton of all the walls. For the extension, we also poured a new concrete floor in the living room, so the whole house would sit right and match levels properly. And honestly, there is no heroic DIY award for doing this part alone. It was way too much for just 2 people, so we got help from a small local construction company in order to pour it in one go. And of course, because the universe loves construction comedy, it rained that day.
So the plan is to take these off because we made a little roof so it doesn't rain on the slab because we poured it yesterday. It came out pretty goddamn level just from the concrete, so I didn't want to put screed because it costs quite a bit of money. So instead what I did is we poured concrete and I got the guys to pour it nicely. So if you see, there's barely any gaps. That's like 2 mil, you know?
Alright, so here's the new plan. And this is where the story stops being, we fixed an old house, and it starts being, we were building an Airbnb people will brag about.
The original house was just 2 rooms, about 40 square meters, basically a starter kit with good bones.
Martina's working away, me and my big belly. Oh, so much work, mano, so much work.
But the extension is a 6.5 by 7 meter upgrade that completely changes the game.
So now we're getting into the walls of the extension. And honestly, this is where everything starts feeling real. Because once the walls go up, you stop imagining rooms and you start walking through them. With the main skeleton up, we filled in the gaps using more timber supports, set 60 centimeters apart, mainly for insulation and to give us a solid fixing points for plasterboard. To secure all this timber properly, we didn't mess around with tiny nails. We used massive 20 centimeter nails, the kind that make you feel like you're building a fortress, not an Airbnb extension. After the inner structure was complete, we moved on to the outside skin of the walls. First, we wrapped the outside with a full layer of OSB to lock in the frame solid. Then we added vertical battens to create an air gap and fixing points. After that, we put a second OSB layer on top, basically turning the wall into a strong, rigid sandwich, ready for insulation and finishing.
Next was the roof, and this part was a bit of a mission. we had to remove the old metal roof sheathing and also the valley section, because the new extension roof needed to meet the existing roof properly at ridge level.
The tricky part was the difference between two structures. The original roof was made from round timber, basically raw logs straight from the forest, so nothing was perfectly straight or perfectly even. The new roof structure was built from fresh sawmill timber, nice, clean, rectangular beams.
So joining them together wasn't straightforward at all. But after a lot of measuring, adjusting, and a little bit of problem solving, and with the help of my father, we managed to get the two roofs lined up perfectly and joined together properly. We ordered new metal sheathing for the roof, and then we applied the roofing membrane to stop any condensation. For the installation of the metal sheets, we had help from a local construction company that came in with 5 guys to help lift up the heavy sheets.
The old shed area was being converted into 2 completely new zones, the sofa lounge and the ensuite bathroom. We closed everything off properly and built fresh wooden floor structure, making sure every line was level and every piece was solid, because this floor was going to carry the comfort of the whole space. After that, we insulated the floor to stop cold and moisture coming through, and then we insulated the walls as well, tightening everything up so the room would actually feel warm and quiet. By the end of it, the shed vibe was gone, and for the first time, it really felt like part of the guest house. With the lounge area complete, it was time to sort out the fireplace. To support the fireplace, we made a reinforced poured concrete platform, basically a concrete table built to handle serious weight. After the reinforcement and the pour, we finished it off by cladding it with brick, so it looked warm and styled, not just structural. It was honestly crazy how heavy the fireplace was, and moving it from the temporary table onto the real one was brutal, especially since it was just the 2 of us. And finally, we tested it out and lit our very first fire. And honestly, it was the most satisfying moment. The house finally started to feel like a home. We finished sealing off the house by installing all the windows and doors. We used Irish second-hand windows for the extension and new windows in the old part of the house. We kept the original sizes, so we didn't lose the house's character. Once the front door was installed, it matched with the original character of the house perfectly. The frosted glass gave us privacy without losing natural light, and at the same time, it added a quiet elegance to the entrance. Once it was in, the whole place instantly felt more finished.
You said this will be ready by when?
This will be ready by tomorrow morning.
What do you mean tomorrow morning?
It's just windows and doors that are remaining.
That's exactly how we felt. People asked us why we didn't just bulldoze the house, apply for European funds, build something trendy, an A-frame, an igloo, something guaranteed to work online. And yes, the funding would have helped, but it came with a condition. We would have needed a registered company in Romania for at least a year, sometimes 2 before even qualifying. 2 more years added to the timeline. The same kind of waiting we were already trapped in back in Ireland. And beyond that, we didn't want to follow a trend. We didn't want to copy something that already existed everywhere. This house had potential. The location had value, close to the city, but with the forest literally at your doorstep. We weren't interested in shortcuts. We wanted to build something that couldn't be picked up and dropped somewhere else. We wanted to preserve the house we fell in love with, its charm, its history, and bring it up to today's standard with comfort, care, and a sense of luxury, without erasing what made it special in the first place. That mix is hard to explain. Rustic and refined, old and intentional, luxury without excess. Not the kind of rustic people expect, but something entirely of its own.
By this point, we've doubled the budget. Yeah, doubled. Not a little over, not unexpected cost, doubled.
Which means what you're watching right now isn't just a renovation series. It's an unfolding story of ambition, stubbornness, and the kind of optimism that should probably come with a warning label.
And the crazy part is, we're only getting started. Because now, we're entering the part that decides everything. Where every choice matters, where the house stops being construction, and it becomes an experience.
Because anyone can build walls, but this next stage is where you build the feeling. This was episode 2. Before the details, before the real transformation, and before you decide if this whole project was brilliant or just beautifully documented insanity.
Episode 3 will be posted next week and will show you the garden area and the perimeter works around the house.